A single flamingo stands motionless on one leg, glowing in warm, golden sunset light. Flamingos gather by the thousands in shallow lakes and coastal wetlands worldwide. For decades, even trained scientists couldn't fully explain this strangely simple pose. Something this common and ordinary somehow remained a genuine scientific mystery. Why would any bird fold one leg away and balance on just the other? An entire flock rests together in shallow water, each bird locked in that same iconic pose. For years, biologists chased two very different, competing explanations for this behavior. Today, thanks to careful field research, we finally know which explanation actually holds up. The first theory claimed standing on one leg simply rests tired leg muscles. Flamingos would switch legs occasionally, giving each tired muscle a well-earned break. The second theory claimed the pose instead helps flamingos conserve precious body heat. Tucking one leg tightly against warm feathers might slow heat loss significantly. Only one of these two competing ideas would actually survive rigorous scientific testing. Enter Matthew Anderson, an animal behavior researcher based at St. Joseph's University. Anderson designed a clever experiment using a very cooperative, well-studied captive flock. His subjects were flamingos living in a resident flock at the Philadelphia Zoo. Anderson specifically wanted to test whether muscle fatigue was truly the cause, so he timed exactly how fast each flamingo reacted from its resting stance. First, his team carefully timed birds starting from a one-legged resting position. Then, they timed those same birds, starting from a normal two-legged position. If the fatigue theory held true, one-leg starts should react noticeably faster. After all, that standing leg would already be less tired and ready to move. But the actual results told a completely different, quite unexpected story. Flamingos actually moved faster when starting from two legs, not from one. That result was the exact opposite of what the fatigue theory predicted. This single finding quietly ruled out muscle fatigue as the explanation for good. Resting tired legs simply wasn't the real reason behind the famous pose. So Anderson turned his full attention toward the second theory, body temperature. Could the one-legged stance really just be about staying warm out there? His team began carefully recording weather conditions during every flamingo resting period. They tracked exactly when flamingos chose to stand on one leg versus two. On warm days, flamingos strongly preferred simply standing on both legs at once. On cooler days, that famous one-legged pose became noticeably far more common. A clear, consistent pattern was steadily emerging from all the collected data. Cold weather seemed to directly trigger the classic one-legged flamingo stance itself. A separate study, published in the journal Waterbirds, confirmed this exact seasonal pattern. Researchers found a strong negative correlation between air temperature and one-legged standing. In simple terms, the colder it got, the more flamingos balanced on one leg. Scientists also noticed something else fascinating happening within the resting flock's behavior. Flamingos periodically switched exactly which leg stayed tucked up close and warm. Each leg got its own fair turn, warming safely against the feathered body. This clearly wasn't random behavior at all. It was careful, deliberate thermal management. To understand why, let's quickly consider some basic physics behind heat loss. Water conducts heat away from a warm body far faster than surrounding air. Roughly 25 times faster, in fact, pulling precious body warmth straight out. A bird's thin legs and feet happen to be especially vulnerable to this loss. They carry very little insulating feathering compared to the rest of the body. Every single minute submerged, a flamingo's legs quietly bleed away valuable body heat. Meanwhile, deep inside that same bird, its core stays remarkably, surprisingly hot. Its internal body temperature sits at roughly 41 degrees Celsius year-round. That's a massive temperature gap between its warm body and the chilly lake water. Lifting one leg completely clear of the cold water became the obvious fix. Tucking that leg into warm belly feathers slows the heat loss dramatically. Thermoregulation wasn't just a promising theory anymore. It was fully confirmed by data. But one big, nagging question about this behavior still remained completely unanswered. Standing on one leg for hours sounds genuinely exhausting for almost any animal. So how could flamingos possibly hold this pose without ever tiring out? The answer came from a truly unexpected place, hidden deep inside flamingo anatomy. Researchers carefully studied the internal structure of a flamingo's leg joints and tendons. Deep inside, they found something remarkable, a completely natural built-in locking mechanism. Scientists gave this mechanism a precise name, the passive gravitational stay apparatus. It's essentially a sling of tendons and ligaments that locks the leg firmly in place. To prove this actually worked, researchers turned to real flamingo cadavers for testing. When physically positioned into the one-legged stance, something truly astonishing happened next. The cadavers stood upright completely on their own, with absolutely no muscles engaged. Gravity alone kept that single supporting leg locked and the whole body balanced. This meant the entire pose costs a flamingo almost zero energy to maintain. No active muscle effort, no muscle fatigue, and no real physical strain at all. That's exactly why flamingos can comfortably hold this pose for hours at a time. It genuinely isn't willpower or endurance keeping that flamingo upright and steady. It's simply clever, passive engineering built directly into the bird's own skeleton. And flamingos certainly aren't alone in using this remarkable evolutionary trick. Herons and storks display that exact same one-legged resting behavior too, especially in cooler conditions, when conserving body heat matters most of all. Though notably, not every single flamingo can pull off the stance equally well. Younger or weaker birds sometimes genuinely struggle to hold the pose steady. This is especially true when wading through particularly cold water for extended periods. Health and age both quietly shape how comfortably a flamingo can balance. So, next time you spot that iconic, elegant pose, take a much closer look. It's not laziness, and it's definitely not simple muscle fatigue either. It's actually a perfect blend of real physiological need and clever anatomical shortcut. One evolved need for warmth, paired with a free, built-in structural solution. Nature quietly solved staying warm without spending a single extra ounce of energy.